I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but here I am, trying to get it off my chest because I honestly don't know what else to do. My name's Dave, and I've been with my wife, Lisa, for almost 8 years now. We married young, both of us ambitious, and for a while everything seemed perfect, or at least that's what I thought. She's always been a bit of a bitch, honestly, sharp-tongued, often dismissive, and she's got this way of making you feel like you're never enough. But I loved her, or at least I convinced myself I did. She was gorgeous, smart, and funny when she wanted to be. The signs of trouble started subtly. At first it was little things, missing phone calls, her changing her schedule suddenly, and random late nights that weren't normal for her. She'd brush it off like I was crazy. "You're just paranoid," she'd say with that smirk, the one that always made me question whether she was hiding something. I ignored most of it, telling myself I was overthinking. But then came the big alarm, her lying about where she was. She told me she was at her sister's place out of town, said she wanted a little escape, some peace and quiet. I didn't think much of it at first. I trusted her, stupidly so, but I didn't realize just how deep her lies went. It was about a month ago on our anniversary that everything changed. We had plans, dinner reservations, a night away at that cozy bed and breakfast I'd booked for us. But on the day, she suddenly backed out, said her sister's dog was sick and she had to stay home. I was annoyed, sure, but I thought, okay, maybe her sister really is in trouble. I didn't push her. That night I was alone, sitting in our living room, scrolling through my phone, trying to figure out what was going on. That's when I saw it, the text messages. They weren't explicit at first, just casual, flirty, mostly innocent-sounding stuff, but there was one name that kept popping up: Mark. Our friend Mark, someone I'd always thought was a good guy. Turns out he's a piece of shit. The texts were late at night, and she'd be replying with all these little inside jokes, calling him babe, and saying how much she missed him when he wasn't around. I couldn't believe my eyes. My stomach dropped, my mind spun. I kept staring, thinking I must be imagining this, but then I found the messages on her phone, hidden under a folder labeled work stuff. Yeah, right, I didn't confront her that night. I just sat there, heart pounding, and stared at the screen. I had the evidence now. I knew the truth. She betrayed me. She slept with Mark last month at the damn anniversary party. That was her story, and she lied about everything. I could feel this mixture of rage and heartbreak building up inside me. It was like I'd been punched in the gut, knocked out cold. How could she do this? How could she lie so effortlessly? She's always been so manipulative, always making me feel like I was overreacting, like I was the problem. And now I see she's been lying about her whereabouts, sneaking around with Mark behind my back. I felt so stupid for trusting her, for believing she loved me when clearly she had other plans. The next day I was a mess. I couldn't focus at work, kept replaying that moment I found the messages. I kept asking myself, why did she do it? Was I not enough? Was I terrible in bed? Or was she just bored looking for some excitement? All these questions swirled in my head and I couldn't find an answer. The worst part was the betrayal, not just because she cheated. I expected that from some random stranger, but because it was Mark, our friend. Someone I considered close enough to be part of the family, and now I see he's a scumbag just like her. I wanted to confront her immediately, but I hesitated. I wanted to believe I was overreacting, that maybe there was some explanation. But deep down I knew. I knew she'd been lying to my face for months, hiding what she was doing behind my back. That night I sat her down, told her I knew about her affair with Mark. Her reaction: she looked at me like I was crazy, full of that same fucking dismissive smirk she always used when she thought she was in control. She called me paranoid, accused me of spying on her, said I was imagining things. She told me she was at her sister, that nothing was going on, but I had the messages, I had the proof. There was no denying it anymore. That's where I am now, standing at this crossroads, trying to figure out what's next. Do I forgive her? Do I ask her to leave? Do I try to fix this mess? Honestly, I don't even know if I want to stay or go. My head's spinning with everything she said, her bitchy, dismissive tone, her lies, the way she looked at me like I was the crazy one. And Mark, what a piece of shit. I never thought I'd be the guy to get cheated on, especially not by someone I trusted so much. But here I am, feeling like I've been punched again and again, trying to hold myself together while my world crumbles around me. After confronting her, The whole day just felt like a blur. She kept denying, calling me paranoid or accusing me of invading her privacy. She told me I was crazy for even thinking she'd cheat, like I was the one with the problem. Her tone was bitchy, dismissive, the way she always gets when she's annoyed or hiding something. She looked at me with that little smirk, like she was amused by how much I was freaking out. I wanted to lose my mind, but I kept my cool, at least on the surface. Inside, I was burning with rage, confusion, and heartbreak. I think what hurt the most was that she lied so effortlessly. Every word she said felt like a punch to the gut. She insisted she was at her sister, that I was just imagining things. But I had the proof, I had the messages. She couldn't deny those. I showed her the screenshots, and she just looked at me like I was crazy. She told me I was overreacting, that Mark meant nothing, that I was just jealous because I was insecure. I wanted to scream at her, tell her how much she's been lying to my face for months, but I didn't. I just sat there trying to process what I'd learned about her. The thing is, Lisa has always been a bit of a manipulator. She's sharp, bitchy, and she knows exactly how to twist things to her advantage. When I asked her how she could do this, sleep with Mark, lie about it, she rolled her eyes and said, "It's not like I slept with the guy every night, Jesus. It was just sex, okay? It meant nothing. I was bored and Mark was there and it happened. Don't make it into some big deal." That phrase, "it meant nothing," kept echoing in my head. Like she thinks sex is some casual thing, like it's just a game she can play whenever she's bored and I should just accept it. I told her I needed space, that I couldn't look at her without feeling sick. She scoffed and said I was overreacting, that I was making a mountain out of a molehill. But I knew better. I knew she'd been lying all along, hiding her affair at every turn. I felt this deep ache, like my heart was breaking all over again. I thought I knew her, thought she was someone I could trust. Turns out she's just a bitchy liar who's been hiding her cheating behind a fake smile. And Mark, he's no better. I never thought he'd be so damn selfish. He's supposed to be my friend and he's out there sleeping with my wife at our anniversary party. That's some sick shit. So I decided I had to get some perspective. I went for a walk in the park, trying to clear my head. The sun was shining, but I felt cold inside. I kept thinking about everything, her lies, Mark's betrayal, the trust we had, and how it all just shattered in a second. I kept asking myself if I could ever forgive her or if I should just cut her loose. Honestly, I don't know if I have the strength to fix this. Right now, I just feel numb, like I've been hit by a truck. My mind keeps circling back to that night, her sneaky messages, her bitchy attitude, and the way she looked at me like I was the crazy one. The worst part, she's still acting like nothing's wrong. Every time I try to bring it up, she brushes me off, says I'm overreacting, or calls me insecure. She's so good at shifting the blame, making me doubt myself. It's like she's convinced herself she's innocent, even though I have the evidence right in front of me. And Mark, I haven't confronted him yet, but I swear I will. I need to know why he did this, why he's willing to throw away our friendship for a quick fuck. Honestly, I feel so betrayed I do even know if I can look him in the eye anymore. Right now, I'm just trying to keep it together. I keep replaying everything in my head, her bitchy tone, her lying face, the sex with Mark at our own party. I can't believe I was so blind. I thought I knew her, that we had something real, but it was all a lie. And the worst part, I don't even know if I want revenge or if I just want to crawl into a hole and forget this ever happened. But I know one thing, this isn't going to sit well with me. The betrayal runs too deep, and I'm not the kind of guy who easily gets over something like this. Only time will tell if I can salvage what's left of my dignity, or if I'll just let her walk away with her little secret. After that day, I couldn't just go back to pretending everything was normal. I was furious, hurt, and feeling more lost than ever. I kept replaying her dismissive attitude, her bitchy smirk, and that sickening sense of betrayal. I wasn't planning to just let her brush this off. No way. I needed to figure out what my next move was, and honestly, I was leaning toward confronting Mark directly. If he was the one who slept with my wife, I had to know why. I wanted to see his face when I told him what I thought of him, but I also knew I couldn't just storm in without a plan. I needed to be smart, calculated. So I started digging deeper into her phone, browsing old text messages, social media, anything that could give me more clues. I wasn't just angry, I was determined. I wanted to see if she had more affairs, if this was just the tip of the iceberg. I found a few texts from other guys too, but none quite as blatant as Mark. Still, I knew she's the kind of woman who'd lie her way out of anything, so I had to be careful. I even installed a tracking app on her phone, nothing invasive, just enough to see her location when she was supposedly at her sister. And sure enough, she was out with Mark that same night at our anniversary party. Not at her sister, as she claimed. That was a real kick in the teeth. She's been lying right to my face, making me feel crazy for suspecting her. Every little thing she said became suspect. I started noticing tiny details, her phone always on silent, her changing her clothes right before she left the house, her getting texts and then immediately hiding her phone. It was like peeling back layers of a lie, one after another. I felt like a damn detective in my own life, but I couldn't stop now. I had to get to the truth. The more I dug, the more I realized how much she'd been hiding. It's like she's got this whole secret life she keeps from me. And the worst part, she doesn't even care how much she's hurting me. It's all about her, her needs, her lies. She's so bitchy when she's caught, like she's the victim. "You're overreacting," she said. "You're paranoid." But I wasn't paranoid, I had the proof. I could almost hear her mocking tone, the way she dismisses my feelings like I'm some insecure loser. That realization made me want to scream. She's always been good at making me doubt myself, twisting the facts, playing the victim. The night I confronted her again, I was calmer but no less furious. I sat her down, laid everything out, the texts, the location history, the secret photos I'd saved. Her reaction, she stared at me, eyes cold, and then she started with her usual bullshit. "You don't have any proof," she snapped. "You're just making this up because you're insecure. Mark means nothing, it's just sex. It's not like I love him." Yeah, that's what she said, just sex, like that makes it okay. Like having sex with someone else at our anniversary party isn't the biggest betrayal in the world. I couldn't believe the way she just brushed it off, like I was the one overreacting. I felt my blood boiling. I wanted to shake her, yell at her, tell her how much she's hurt me. But I held back. I knew if I lost my temper, I'd say something I'd regret. Instead, I told her I needed to think about everything. About us. About whether I could even stay married to someone so bitchy and manipulative. She just rolled her eyes and said I was being dramatic. That made me even angrier. I never thought I'd be in this situation, questioning everything I believed. About her, about us. I started to realize how much she's been controlling, how she's always had the upper hand with her bitchy attitude and lies. And Mark, I still haven't talked to him face to face, but I plan to. I want to see his reaction when I call him out. I want to hear him deny it or admit it or whatever. Honestly, I don't even care anymore. I'm just so sick of being the fool in this whole mess. I thought I was secure, that I had a good wife, a good life. Now I see it was all a lie. She's been sleeping with Mark at our own damn party, and she's been lying about it the whole time. I can't believe I was so blind. The betrayal is so deep, it's like a wound that keeps bleeding. I keep asking myself, how do I pick up the pieces? Do I just forget it? Do I fight to save what's left? Or do I cut her loose and start over? Honestly, I don't know what's worse, staying and pretending I'm okay, or walking away and feeling like I lost everything. The days that followed were a blur of sleepless nights and endless thoughts. I stayed up late every night, going over everything I'd uncovered, trying to decide what to do. Part of me wanted to blow everything up, confront her again with even more evidence, and make her feel the same pain she's caused me. But another part, smarter maybe, knew that wasn't the right way. I had to be careful. Whatever I did, it had to be strategic. I couldn't just lash out blindly. I needed to understand my feelings first and plan my next move. In the meantime, her behavior didn't improve. If anything, she got bitchier, more dismissive, as if she was trying to gaslight me into doubting my own instincts. She'd brush past me in the kitchen, rolling her eyes if I asked about her plans, and I swear, she was even more openly flirtatious with Mark when she thought I wasn't looking. The little things she did, laughing a little too long at her phone, giving Mark secretive looks, only confirmed what I already knew. She was still sneaking around, still lying, still playing her game. I decided I needed stronger evidence, so I started recording her. Just snippets of her conversations, the way she talks to Mark when she thinks no one's listening. I wasn't planning to use these recordings to blackmail or humiliate her, at least not yet. I just needed to be sure I had everything I needed before making any final decisions. I also reached out to some of her friends, people she confided in. I wanted to know if anyone had noticed anything unusual. Surprisingly, a couple of her friends mentioned she'd been acting distant, secretive, and even a little bitchy lately. One of them, Sarah, told me she'd caught Lisa flirting with Mark at a recent girls' night out. That was just more confirmation that this wasn't some isolated thing. One night, I got the guts to call Mark directly. I wanted to hear from him what was really going on, face to face if possible. I waited until late after Lisa had gone to bed and dialed his number. When he answered, he sounded nervous, like he already knew what I was going to say. I didn't waste time. I told him I knew about their affair, about how he slept with my wife last month at our own anniversary party. There was this long silence on the other end. Then he finally spoke, stammering a bit, trying to deny it. I cut him off and told him I wasn't stupid, that I had proof, and that I wanted to know why he did it. He hesitated, then finally admitted that he was just bored. Said Lisa was hot, and they'd been texting for a while, but she was the one who made the first move. That really pissed me off. Not only did she cheat behind my back, but she used her bitchy attitude to manipulate Mark into doing it. I could hear the shame in his voice, which didn't make me feel better. If anything, it made me feel even more betrayed. Mark claimed he didn't think it would go this far, but I knew better. I knew that bitchy attitude of Lisa's. She's always been good at pushing people around, convincing them she's the victim. And Mark, he's just as much to blame for thinking with his dick instead of his head. That call was a turning point. I told Mark he was dead to me, that I never wanted to see or hear from him again. I told him I was going to tell everyone what he did, including his wife and I. Meant it. I wanted him to know how deeply he'd fucked up. I also told him that Lisa was the one who lied about her whereabouts, that she slept with him at our own party, and that I had all the proof to back it up. I could feel the anger boiling inside me as I spoke. I knew I'd never forget this betrayal, and I also knew I couldn't just sweep it under the rug. I had to make a decision about what to do next. Now, here's the thing. I hadn't told Lisa I recorded her or that I'd spoken to Mark. I wanted to see how she'd react when she found out I knew everything. Part of me hoped she'd finally admit the truth, but I wasn't counting on it. Knowing her, she'd just double down, call me insecure or paranoid, and try to manipulate me into thinking I was the crazy one. It's her style. She's always been good at turning the tables, but I wasn't going to let her keep lying to my face. I was tired of her bitchy attitude, her lies, her games. I've reached a point where I feel like I'm standing on the edge, not knowing whether I should just walk away or fight for what's left of our marriage. Honestly, I don't think I can ever trust her again after what I've uncovered. The sex with Mark was just a symptom of the bigger problem, her manipulative, bitchy attitude and her complete disregard for my feelings. I want to believe there's a way to fix this, but right now, I just feel sick. I keep asking myself if I can forgive her, if I even want to. Or is this the end of us? The thought of walking away, of losing everything we built, terrifies me. But staying in this mess, pretending I don't know the truth, that's worse. I don't know what's coming next, but I do know one thing. This betrayal has shattered me in ways I never expected to be shattered. The more I thought about everything, the more I realized I couldn't keep pretending I was okay. The betrayal cut too deep. She lied so effortlessly, dismissed my feelings with that bitchy smirk, and acted like I was overreacting. Every time I looked at her, I saw a stranger, a woman who had been manipulative, unfaithful, and utterly ruthless in her betrayal. I kept replaying that night when I confronted her, the way she doubled down, calling me paranoid and saying Mark was just a friend with benefits. That phrase made my stomach turn, like sex with Mark wasn't a big deal, just some meaningless thing she could brush off. I decided I had to get out of this toxic situation. I couldn't stay and keep pretending things might get better. I knew I had to talk to her again, but this time with a plan. I couldn't let her gaslight me anymore. I sat her down, told her I knew everything about her affair with Mark, her lies, her manipulations. Her reaction. She looked at me like I'd just grown a second head. She rolled her bitchy eyes and started with her usual defensive bullshit, telling me I was overreacting, that I was insecure, and that I was just jealous. I snapped at her, telling her I wasn't jealous, I was betrayed. There's a difference. I laid out all the evidence I'd collected, the messages, the location history, the recordings I'd made. I told her I couldn't live with the constant lies, that I was done pretending. Her response: she kept saying I was making a big deal out of nothing, that she didn't owe me an explanation. The way she dismissed my feelings made me realize I'd been a fool for trusting her so blindly. She's always been bitchy, controlling, and manipulative, not to mention a damn good liar. But now I saw her for what she really was, a woman who would cheat, lie, and deny until she's blue in the face. I told her I wanted a divorce. I wanted her out of my life, out of my house. I told her I didn't want to see her again, at least not until she could be honest and take responsibility. Her face twisted into this sneering smile, like she was trying to make me feel guilty for calling her out. But I wasn't feeling guilty. I was feeling numb. The betrayal had killed any love or respect I had left for her. And Mark, I made it clear I was done with him too. I told him I'd tell everyone, his wife, friends, anyone who needed to know what he'd done. I wanted him to feel the same pain I was feeling right now. I started packing my things that night, not even bothering to hide the tears. I kept thinking about all we'd been through, our plans, our hopes, the life I thought we shared. It all felt like a lie now. I kept asking myself how I got here, how I let someone so bitchy and manipulative destroy everything. I never felt so betrayed, so humiliated in my entire life. But I also knew I had to move on. Staying and pretending everything was okay would only make me more miserable. The thing is, I still have feelings, anger, sadness, regret. But I also have a tiny flicker of relief. I'm finally free from the constant lying and manipulation. I know it's going to hurt for a long time, but I have to believe I'll get through it. I've learned that trusting blindly in someone you love can leave you vulnerable, and sometimes the people you think are your closest allies are the ones who'll stab you in the back most brutally. So here I am, standing at the edge of a new life, with nothing but the truth as my armor. I don't know what's ahead, whether I'll find someone new or just learn to be alone, but I do know one thing: I refuse to be a fool anymore. I refuse to let someone treat me like I'm nothing, to be manipulated and lied to. I've lost my wife, sure, but I gained clarity. I learned that some people, no matter how bitchy or manipulative, don't deserve my trust, and I'll never let that happen again. The days after I moved out were some of the hardest of my life. Every moment felt like a punch in the gut. I kept replaying everything: her bitchy attitude, the lies, the sex with Mark at our own party, and how I was so blind to it all. It was like waking up from a nightmare I didn't even realize I was in. But gradually, a strange thing started happening. The numbness gave way to clarity. I started to see things more clearly, and I realized I'd been living in a false sense of security for too long. I won't lie, there's still pain. I feel it every day. The betrayal, the loss of trust, the feeling of being so thoroughly played. But I also feel a sense of liberation I hadn't experienced before. For the first time in a long time, I'm honestly focusing on myself. I'm reconnecting with old friends, hitting the gym, and trying to rebuild some sense of normalcy. I've learned a lot from this entire mess. Most importantly, that I deserve someone who respects me, who's honest and loyal. Someone who doesn't play manipulative games or cheat behind my back. Looking back, I realize I was naive, thinking I could change her, believing our love was enough to keep her faithful. But love isn't just about good times, it's about respect, honesty, and integrity. If someone doesn't have those qualities, no amount of love can fix it. I've also learned that some betrayals cut so deep they change you forever. I used to think I was resilient, but this experience shook my core. Still, I'm trying to turn this pain into strength. I don't want to be the guy who gets betrayed and stays broken forever. I've decided to focus on healing, on building a life that doesn't revolve around her anymore. I don't harbor hatred for Mark, just disappointment. I'll never trust him again, and I hope he feels the weight of what he's done every single day. As for Lisa, I hope she gets what she deserves, though honestly, I don't care much anymore. All I care about is moving forward, learning from what happened, and making sure I don't get caught in a trap like this again. To anyone reading this who's going through something similar, trust your instincts. Don't ignore the little red flags or dismiss your feelings. If someone is lying, cheating, or dismissing you like you're nothing, it's time to walk away. No relationship is worth sacrificing your own dignity or peace of mind. I thought I was in love, but now I see that real love is built on trust and respect. Anything less is just a game, and I refuse to play it anymore. So here I am, finally ready to start over. I don't know what the future holds, but I know I'll be okay. I've learned that the strongest thing you can do is walk away from someone who doesn't deserve you. And that, no matter how much it hurts, time will heal. The scars will fade, but the lessons never will. I'll never forget what I've been through, but I also refuse to let it define me. From now on, I'll choose honesty, loyalty, and self-respect over anything that could ever betray me again.